Hello YouTube, Siegfried True Lane here with another Dragon Ball Z video. Today I'm going to be doing a review of Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, of course, if you're watching this, you already know what that is, you know, kind of the new Dragon Ball Z came out, and well, I am going to say that I'm quite disappointed with it. Let's just be honest, straight up about that. I'm disappointed. I expected a little more open world running around, less grinding that was ridiculous, in all honesty. Like, the grinding in this game is getting pretty ridiculous. Let's go to the positives first. I really like the battle system. I think the battle system is one of the best in this game. I mean, the fact that you have the battle system that I feel is the closest to Raging Blast since Raging Blast. And honestly, Raging Blast was my favorite Dragon Ball Z games because I felt like they actually got the game correct. You had your easy combo system, you had a 3D environment, and you had the easy way to get off the super attacks. There wasn't some combo or super difficult way to get it off. And more importantly, they took away, I mean, in Raging Blast, it wasn't as easy to just dodge. And that's like an issue I've had with, most Dragon Ball Z games, is that it's been just way too easy to dodge. Like, look, in the Budokai series, you have to really hold them down to hit them with a super attack. And when you're playing against a really good player, it makes the game not fun at all. When you're playing against a high-end computer, again, you almost always miss or they block at the right time, so you're never going to be able to use those attacks. In Raging Blast, I felt they did that right. And they also added in the deflecting key, the dodging key, and the blocking key, and the key beams, which were really nice. That's one thing I've never liked from Xenoverse, is that they took away those mechanics that were good. I think if Xenoverse's battle system was like Raging Blast, Xenoverse would be honestly my favorite game at the moment. But I don't like how Xenoverse kind of brought back the easy dodging. So you have to break them just to hit them with the attacks, which takes a while to break them. So for that reason, Raging Blast is always my favorite. Not to mention, I could combo pretty much Gohan's Soaring Dragon Fist along with his Super Kamehameha, which was really cool because it gave like that iconic. I mean, it was just fun to hit him with that, and then hit the Kamehameha at the end. Now, so this battle system I really do like. I feel it's closer to Raging Blast than Xenoverse is. One thing I don't like is if you're in the middle of a melee combo, like just a melee special attack, I have had the enemy, even though he's being hit by it, being knocked back, stop and just start charging his red attack, and that one irritated me. Because it's like, you're being hit by an attack, you should not be charging around. Yep. That was not fun. Other than that though, I really enjoyed the battle. I thought the battle was really good. It was nice, it's smooth, and by far the funnest part of the game. Things about this game I did not like. Number one, changes in the story. I noticed a lot of changes in the story that were weird because they didn't make sense. Case in point, you have... Well, first of all, there's a lot of fights that they could have added in. I mean, this game has way too many cutscenes and way too little fights. Case in point, you could have had the Piccolo versus Piccolo fight when he's training. They could have added in like a Gohan bonus game where you have to run away from the dinosaur or where you have to catch the dinosaur. That I think would have been fun. The Saiyan conflict is, in my opinion, just so boring. And they removed a lot of the things in the Saiyan conflict, the beginning part of the Saiyan conflict, that made that Saiyan conflict actually really interesting. A lot of things that, kind of grew Gohan's character. So I was very disappointed at the beginning of the Saiyan conflict, how you really you didn't do that much with Gohan. Nothing that he actually did. You didn't have the chasing the dinosaur, running from the dinosaur. Yeah, you had the one Piccolo in the Uzaru fight, but there were actually two Uzaru fights. So, the first one's where he blows up the moon, the second one's where he cuts off the tail. I don't feel like they needed to remove that to save time, because they throw in so many stupid side quests that are a waste of time that make it feel more like an MMO or an RP, you know, like in that essence. I mean, it's good to add in side quests as long as you don't eliminate from the story. So removing the second Uzuru fight, removing the snake way. We didn't get to do Snake Way. We didn't get to do the Kinkai training. I mean, I was looking forward to, honestly, catching Bubbles, catching Grey Green, running on Snake Way. So that was highly disappointing. The Saiyan conflict fight was highly disappointing. I mean, you could have had Krillin fight the Cybermen. They didn't throw that fight in. The amount of fights they could have thrown in against Nappa, you could have had 3 different fights against Nappa between them. And they didn't. And that was really disappointing. Along with that, the playable characters. Why are there 5 playable characters? Why is it only Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Trunks, and Piccolo? Why can't I play as Tien? Why can't I play... Krillin! Why can't you play as Krillin? I mean... okay, Tien can be somewhat understandable. Yamcha definitely understandable. Chaozu understandable. But Krillin fought in every single saga. He fought in Saiyan Conflict. He fought in Namek Saga. He was one of the only fighters in Namek Saga. He fought in the Androids and Cell Saga. He didn't fight in Majin Buu Saga. That's about the only saga he didn't fight in his Majin Buu. But why is he not a usable character? Why are they support characters only? I mean, support characters, I think that's another thing that upset me. This massive character roster, and you can only play as 5. This is something, I think, like, if we're going to go, like, through the RPG Dragon Balls, I feel Sagas did correct. In Sagas, you had so many characters you could play as. Broly, Future Trunks, not Future Trunks. I mean, you could always use Future Trunks. Future Gohan, Bardock. I mean, you had so many options in Sagas, and yeah, Sagas is a really horrible game, gameplay-wise, but that was one thing they got right, and I was really disappointed that you only get to play as those 5. Which made it even worse when you can't even play as Vegito and Gotenks. And that, honestly, that for me was going to be the make or break of the game. Can I play as Vegito in the endgame? Can I play as Gotenks in the endgame? And hell, Gogeta would have been a nice addition too. You could use Vegito and Vegito and Gotenks for one fight during Majin Buu Saga. And I guess from reading, you can use it for like the final secret boss fight. But there's no other way to unlock them. One second. So, that to me is honestly a game breaker right there. You can't add a Dragon Ball Z game and not include the ability to play as fusions when you want to play them. Fusions are the most hyped characters in Dragon Ball. You look at any Dragon Ball Z game. Good point. Look at the mobile games. Look at Dokkan and Legends. When a fusion character comes out, the amount of people spending money on that game skyrockets to get those characters. More than any other character. I mean, like, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan's really great, but it skyrockets past that. And I guess this comes down to the other problems. When you get to the end game, you don't get to play the best version of Gohan. You have to play the adult Gohan, which I think almost everybody can agree is the most boring version of Gohan. Even Gohan and Saiyan conflict is more interesting. But you don't get the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan when he was a teen, when he was, iconic. You get him when everyone stopped liking him. So he will never be on my team. My team would only consist of Goku, Vegeta, Trunks, and Piccolo. I would never use Gohan. I can't stand Gohan as an adult. So, the roster is highly lacking, which in my opinion is completely ridiculous. There's no reason for it to be so low. I know there are plenty of people who like Krillin. I mean, I'm sure if you guys watching this, you guys know D-Free. D-Free, his favorite character is Krillin, from what I understand. And the fact that he's not even playable is ridiculous. And if they wanted to make it based off Goku, then make you only play Goku. Then fine, follow Goku along. But that's another thing. This is called Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, and you don't even follow Goku the whole time. You don't follow Goku as he's training in space. They could have done minigames for that. You don't follow Goku again on Snake Way. There's scenes that are Goku iconic and you don't even follow it, which feels a little weird. The Frieza fights are really lacking. I mean, if I remember correctly, there's no Frieza, Final Form Frieza and Vegeta, but I could be wrong on that. I was watching a video on Nano last night where he deleted it because of the fact that they completely skipped over Super Trunks fighting Cell and the Final Flash, which again is ridiculous. Iconic scenes that aren't added in. And then again, like scenes where it's like this, it's completely changed over. Where it's like, why did they change the story? Case in point, when Goku wakes up, why does Goku walk down the stairs? That's not what happened. I mean, yeah, it might be a small thing, but it's a ridiculous thing. I mean, why are they changing the story? And that's just an example of there's so many parts in this game where they change the story. Now, I watched a review yesterday and they said that for Dragon Ball Z fans, they'd recommend it. I'm a diehard Dragon Ball Z fan. I have played every Dragon Ball Z game out there. Maybe not, actually, I don't think I played Ultimate Tenkaichi. I don't think I played the really Ultimate Tenkaichi series, because mostly I wasn't able to at the time. But I played through the Budokais. I played through the Xenoverses. I played through the both Raging Blasts. I tried Burst Limit, which was absolutely horrible. Sagas. And through... I mean, I play all the Dragon Ball Z games. I've seen the entire series from regular Dragon Ball all the way up to Z and GT. I actually live in Japan at the moment, so I get to see all the Dragon Ball Z stuff here. I'm a huge Dragon Ball fan, and I gotta say, as a huge Dragon Ball fan, I would not recommend this game to Dragon Ball Z fans. I think honestly, this is maybe lighter fans, not your hardcore fans. You're more maybe your entry levels are like, it's an interesting show, but don't really know the show. I think it'd be good for them. But I think for your hardcore fans who know the show and are gonna expect to see the iconic moments and then see it skipped, I think they're gonna get angry, like me. Being like, alright, so the Father Son Kamehameha wasn't as, yeah, that's another one they changed. They changed that scene where it's like, they completely skip over all of Vegeta's outrage. It's just like, boom, that's it. Like, they skipped over that. Gohan doesn't dive and get his arm hurt like he's supposed to, That's not what happened in the game. Like, they completely remove the fact of why Gohan does the one-armed Kamehameha. He didn't get his arm hurt. So, again, iconic scenes. These are scenes for me that are just, as a diehard Dragon Ball Z fan, it angers me. Well, I guess I wouldn't say angers me, it irritates me. So, honestly, I would say, best Dragon Ball Z game ever, that's adventure-wise. Still Legacy of Goku series. I would love to see the Legacy Goku series get an HD remake, like completely redone in HD. That would be, I think, the best Dragon Ball Z adventure ever. They did it right. You had the iconic scenes. You could use the fusions in-game. You weren't stuck just watching the anime. And that's because this is like watching an abridged version of the anime where they mess up parts of the anime. And that's, I think, a big issue. It's like watching an abridged version of the anime where they mess up parts of it. That's not interesting. If I want to watch the anime, I'll just put on the anime. I wanted to play through the anime. And again, they fluff up all those side quests, but then eliminate fights and important parts from the actual anime. So as a Dragon Ball Z game, honestly, I would... Not gameplay-wise. Again, gameplay-wise, fighting-wise is really fun, but overall, I would probably rate this down as low as Sagas. Just due to the fact of all the good stuff that they removed, all the fact that it's called Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, and you don't even follow Goku on Snake Way, which is an iconic part of his journey. I'm glad they added the driving at least. But again, I guess that's something funny. They added the driving scene, which was honestly not even... Well, it was kind of a secret episode when I was a kid. I didn't even know that one was around in the beginning. But they added that in, but not the Snake Way. So, due to the fact that... Just my final thoughts. Due to the fact that this is an abridged, incorrect version of the anime, pretty much, with a few fights in it, I would, again, rank this as low as Sagas. Nowhere near the Legacy of Goku series. I mean, I think Legacy of Goku 1 is better because they had Snake Way, which, honestly, they had the training with King Kai, which was actually kind of fun. So I would... And honestly, I've played through Dragon Ball Z Legacy of Goku more than once. I might hop on this and do some in-game content, but I would not play through this game more than once. I wouldn't. It drags on too long in areas it shouldn't. Half the time I found myself skipping cutscenes because like, okay, I don't need to see this again. Let's just go through the story. Let's play the game. The open world feels more like an illusion. Yeah, I mean, like, okay, I can fly around now, but I mean, it's not really an open world. It's because of the way the things run. When you have so many cutscenes and it's go from here to B, here A to B, A to B, A to B, and it's always holding your hand, that's not an open world. It's slightly more open world than Sagas, but less open world than Legacy of Goku. So, should you buy this game? Well, being as there's honestly no co-op to it, which they could have easily added, the lack of characters. If you're not a fan of Sagas, I think you probably wouldn't like this one yet. At least, I would give it time to see if they fix it, if they add in more characters, if they put add-ons patches to make the game more interesting, if they add on maybe a Dragon Ball Super expansion to it, or a Dragon Ball GT expansion. If they add in content that's actual... I mean, I would wait to see what they add in to make the game worth buying. At the moment, I would not invest your money into this game. But again, those are just my thoughts on this game. I'm sure other people really like this game. But again, I think I made my complaints pretty clear. Game fighting-wise is really good. Gameplay-wise, really good. But too many cutscenes. Too many cutscenes and incorrect scenes. And again, people might be like, well, it's a Dragon Ball Z game, what do you expect? Well, I don't expect for half the game to be cutscenes, half the story mode to be cutscenes, and 25% to be traveling from point A to point B, and 25% to be fighting. When I am watching more cutscenes than playing, and again, I actually, just so people know, I would just do story mode. I didn't do anything sideways, I went directly to the story mode. And so that's why I'm judging it based on how much fighting with just cutscenes via story mode there was. Again though, those are my thoughts, those are my opinions, other people might disagree, other people probably do agree. I don't think the rating it so high as a Dragon Ball Z game is kind of, I think people are rating it really, really high as a Dragon Ball Z game. I think they already had that set in their mind because it looked so good. And I think personally my thought, that's an incorrect rating. Anyways, this is Siegfried Tulane signing out, and I will catch you guys later.